and not those of Vic Canellis Media Group, its parent, affiliates, or stations. VCMG Live is not responsible for any content, information, or opinions expressed. User bears full responsibility for their reliance on such content, information, or opinions.
Would you love to deepen your spiritual connection and create a conscious shift in your life? Do you seek answer to human experience? Well, welcome to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah. It's a 2.5-hour safe haven for your questions and Spirit's answers. And you can transform your life right now on VCMG in South Florida. SarahSpiritual is a gifted spiritual advisor, coach, and medium who can assist you to connect the light within and transcend beyond the limits of all possible experience and knowledge. For the next 2.5 hours, listen and call in toll-free 866-9-SARAHS. That's 866-972-7247. And watch SarahSpiritual live on Facebook and YouTube and share love and light.
The world is changing now, and we don't know where to go. The world is different now, and people have lost their way. It's just not easy to be who we want to be, 'cause the world is changing now. We can't walk the way we did. We don't know the path. We have to listen to our heart. The ways that worked before, they don't work anymore. We have lost our love for everyone. We have hurt each other. The world is changing now. It's asking us to move along, to open up a different way of loving one another. We can't stay the same. We've lost the game of life. We can't run away anymore. The world is changing now. We need to heed the warning. The world is calling you to rise above where you've been. The world is changing now. What we did before doesn't work. It's time for you. It's time for me to change. The world is changing now. Won't you change and open your heart? right here on the Oldies station, and you're listening to Spiritually Speaking with Sarah all across the nation at 866-972-7247. We are answering your questions and we are taking calls. So we would love to hear from you and wish you a very happy New Year. So what did you do on New Year's Eve? Did you spend time with friends, with family? Did you sleep through it? Did you come in 2 minutes too late and miss the ball drop? Where were you on New Year's Eve? And how were those holidays? How were those family members? Did you enjoy them? Did you gather together and connect and really celebrate what Christmas represents? Because Christmas represents joy, happiness, gathering, heart-to-heart experiences. After all, Christmas is in your heart. Did you celebrate Hanukkah and enjoy the light, the celebration, the connections of family? How did you celebrate your holidays? Maybe, just maybe, you were all by yourself. There wasn't anyone to celebrate. So, what are holidays? Well, there are days marked in the calendar that we've chosen to create something special around. For some of us, it's a little bit too hyped up, a little too commercialized. It brings up a lot of feelings of our past, maybe past disappointments, past hurts. Maybe this was the first holiday you were alone. Maybe one of your loved ones passed and you really wish they were with you this past season. Maybe you went through a relationship change, a relationship breakup, and you were alone for the holiday. But whatever you were doing, the holiday is not just about all the external activities that we put so much emphasis on. Put a lot of emphasis on the gift giving and spending the time and cooking the meals. I talked to so many people who were so exhausted from getting ready for the holiday that it was almost as if they couldn't even enjoy the holiday. That all the work they put in for the month of December to get ready, they really were so stressed out, I'm not sure they enjoyed it. So what do we put our emphasis on? What do we focus on when we get ready for these holidays? What do you do? How do you shift yourself from getting ready and adding more activities to a very busy schedule already, and then be able to settle in? So when we take a step back, hindsight 2020, we look back at what it was like for us for the holiday, and then we need to make a conscious choice. How do we want our holidays to be? What would we love for the holidays to represent for us? And what was missing in that picture? You see, there'll be another holiday soon. There'll be another family gathering. Maybe Christmas and Hanukkah will take a year to come, but they're all coming. And what would you like to be different? And if you were feeling sad over the holiday season, as I know many of you were because I've had many of those conversations with people, why were you sad? And what could you do to shift how you feel during those difficult times? I know there's no magic wand and there's no magic pill that can make you not miss someone or heal faster from an experience that has hurt you. Or maybe you were going through a health crisis and still weren't up to all the activities, and so you couldn't really celebrate the way you wanted. Well, it takes time to recalibrate ourselves. But there's a very important tool that we have, and that's our conscious thought. That's what we focus our attention on. That's what we direct our mind to do. Many of us are victims of our mind. The mind just playing over these tapes of what didn't work out, or how much we missed someone, or what isn't right, how we wish our finances were different, how we wish we didn't have a rift between a family member, a sister, a brother, a cousin, an uncle, or how we feel betrayed by someone. Isn't it interesting that those thoughts have a way of just repeating themselves? Have you noticed that? And so for some of you, when you're feeling down, and the holiday season brings up a lot. I know we all like to put on this ho, ho, ho. It's fabulous, but there's a lot that goes on. Because there's a lot of family dynamics that are behind the scenes. There's a lot of programming, conditioning that we've all experienced. And then for some of us, there's some fabulous memories that we truly wish we could relive again. Those family moments of sitting and having hot cocoa and sitting by a tree or outside watching it snow, making snow angels. Those memories that come up for us. But we're not that little kid anymore, so we can't really do that. Or the people we did it with aren't on the planet anymore. We have experienced too much, and life has changed us and hardened us. Has definitely altered how we live our lives. Because we can't quite let it go. There's a longing for something that once was. The way we were, right? There was a song, The Way We Were. So we have those feelings, those sentiments, those memories that stay with us. And when the negative memories raise to the surface, we have to address them. We have to talk to ourselves and ask ourselves, why are we torturing ourselves? Why are we allowing this tape to continue playing? And not come from a place of power. You're not a victim of your circumstances. You're not a victim of the past. Your mind may trick you to be. And you may say, well, it's the new year. That was the holidays. That was how I was feeling. Why talk about it in the new year? Because if you don't address what caused angst, disappointment, and an imbalance within you, it'll pop back up. So I know many of you made your New Year's resolutions. You sat and you had conversations with yourself about what your plan was going to be. I'm friends with a lot of people who are part of a really great program, and so they're all enthusiastic and they're happy to be a part of this program where they're working and losing weight, and they're so excited. And then there are others that are trying to make changes in their lives financially, or their financial outlook, their credit, their work. Whatever they're working on, whatever you're changing, it's time to change. But what I would love for us to catch before it catches you off guard is that thought pattern that pops up and is like, how do you know it's going to be different this time? Or what do you think the difference is between now and then? And why is it that every time you're almost there, something goes wrong? Now, you may have a pattern that has happened. But the minute that sinking feeling starts to grab us, the minute that thought pattern that tells us all the things that could go wrong begins to churn in our mind, we begin to sabotage the future. Why do you think that people make New Year's resolutions? And well, some of you are pretty much off track already, and it's only the 8th of January. Because you don't feel you're worthy. You don't feel that you deserve to do what you want. You don't really feel motivated. You don't really see the point. You just don't have the drive, the wish. But also your mind is playing tricks on you. Your mind is telling you that it's not possible. Your mind is telling you, oh, why should I bother giving up sugar? Why should I bother working out? Every time I work out, my knee hurts. So why should I do that? Like, there's a certain conversation, a self-sabotaging conversation that tries to override the choices of the new ways of being that we are trying to implement. Negativity hates when we put ourselves on the right path. And our negative patterns and negative minds don't like to see us change. And even though the only thing that is constant in the world is change, we as humans really hate to change. We become very sedentary and complacent in what we know and what we think we know. So what do you know coming into 2025? What have you learned in the past few years? And what negative thought and what pattern have you been talking about to yourself and maybe even repeating to others that you're perpetuating into the new year? And regardless of the goals that you have, it's going to creep up when you least expect it. Yes, it's a new year. But you need to choose to be a new you. It's just a day on the calendar. It's just a flip of the switch, a drop of a ball. Here in Florida, we drop a pineapple. Did you know that? I just found that out. I was like, we got a pineapple? Like Tampa or somewhere? Oh, it's like, check that out. We got a pineapple. And then I started to realize that different states and places had their own thing they dropped. I thought the only thing there was a ball in New York City. You know, in Wisconsin, they drop a block of cheese. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that these things went on? I had no idea. But it's about friendships. It's about community. It's about bringing people together and shifting things. And getting ready for a new year. And what are you doing to get ready for that new year? Now, if you didn't set any goals, that's quite all right. You still got time. Remember, it's just a flip of a day in the calendar. We still have, let me do the math. 357 days left and counting to the end of the year. I think you've got a lot of time to do a lot of great things. But let's get back to that mind. Just for a minute. Let's get back to the mind and let's give thought and consideration to what do we need to shift up here so that we don't have this slide back as we come into the months to come. Your guides, your angels, the power of God, they're all here to support you. You are not alone in this journey, I can assure you. But you need to ask for assistance and you need to take control of your mind. If I were to give you any advice for 2025, it would definitely be watch your thoughts. Watch your thoughts. Watch what you grab hold on. Watch what influences you. Watch what hypnotically tries to disrupt you. Watch that. Because those thoughts, they're powerful. And there's a telepathic frequency that goes on. And sometimes we think other people can't read our minds, but they can. They can feel your energy shift. You ever talk to someone and have you ever done that and then all of a sudden you feel like you just want to take a step back and it's not even like they said anything specifically to make you feel uncomfortable, but suddenly the energy between you changed? Could have been a thought that ran through their mind. And you're picking up on it. You're feeling it. And you're trying to process it so you don't feel as comfortable. So you just take a step back. Pay attention to the thoughts. Pay attention to the words. Pay attention to what you're choosing to do with your days and your life. Because you're the director of your story. We may have a new year, but this new year is most certainly designed to bring up a lot of closure, to close out a chapter that really represents, and if I take us all back and I say to you all, where were you in 2016? What was going on in your lives? We're kind of clearing the board. We're closing cycles. And planetarily, we're closing cycles that exceed that timeline, that go back 19 years.